Hello, this is Rainbow Shy. I am currently working on my first fanfiction, A Friend's Final Letter, and I'm going to read it to you all. I hope you all enjoy it. My dear friends, I know that you've been noticing that my time has been coming, and I would deny it, but now I see it really is my time. I'm sorry if I had given you any trouble. The reason I see it now is that I'm dying. I know it's a part of life, but my time has come. I don't want to leave you guys. It's all thanks to Princess Celestia. She sent me to you all. I wanted to figure out about Nightmare Moon's return. I didn't want any part of you guys, but as I was sent to you for the preparations for the summer sunrise, I got to know you. And as we went to find the elements of harmony, I got to begin to take you in. Pinky, the element of laughter. She is always laughing. She tries to make every pony smile. I met her when I first arrived in Ponyville. All I said was hello. She gasped like she had just seen Slenderman behind me. She galloped in midair and flew like a Pegasus would. It was the weirdest thing that I had ever seen, but it wasn't as bad as her sense that drove me insane. The tail twitch, something was going to drop at that moment. She didn't really make any sense. And the day that she lost her mind, all because we didn't want to go to Gummy's after birthday party, she totally forgot that it was her birthday. I still remember it to this day. Applejack, element of honesty. I remember her later after Pinky. She was doing the food for the celebration. She took me in open hooves. She saved my life from falling off a cliff. She told me to let go and to trust her. I let go, hoping to die, but Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash caught me. She didn't lie to me. That's what makes her honest. I remember the time when she had to harvest the apples all on her own. She was stubborn for our help, but I finally convinced her when Big Macintosh pointed out all the other apples. She pleaded for help. And the day her and Dash did the Iron Pony, Rainbow had cheated, but then on the fall leaves race, neither of them had won. I had won. I thought it was amazing. But AJ overall is the most honest pony I've ever known. Her entire family is huge. I remember most of them. Apple Bloom, Granny Smith, Big Mac, Apple Fritter, Brayburn, but there is many more. I just can't seem to remember every single one. Rarity, the element of generosity. She is still the most beautiful pony in all of Ponyville. She is so generous. That day we met, she insisted to fix my mane. She did, but she put me in those outfits for some reason. When she tried to put me in a corset, I could barely breathe. It felt like a snake was getting ready to strangle the life out of me, then eat me for lunch. When I mentioned a Canterlot, she let me breathe again. She started fangirling all over Canterlot. I remember the time when she made gala dresses for us. They were beautiful, but before we saw how upset we made her after the fashion show, from the dresses we wanted, but from what we did after our mistake, we made her happy. But when she was happy, it made us all feel good. I still feel like the worst friend ever after it happened. I remember the time when Sweetie Belle first came to visit and she stayed at Rarity's place. They had a sister rivalry. But when Rarity saw how important her sister was and tried to say sorry, Sweetie Belle kept her hoof down. It was the sisters' social race that helped. Sweetie Belle thought all the time it was Applejack, but it was Rarity. In the mud. I thought that she would do anything when it was appropriate to get into the mud, or if it was the only way to make it right. But she did it for her sister relationship. Rainbow Dash, element of loyalty. She is loyal as any pony can be. Even though she is a little show-off, she still manages to be loyal to every pony and her best friends. There are some times that it's too much and she decides to snap and break down into a cry. On the day that I first saw her, she was supposed to be clearing the sky for the celebration, but when I got there, the clouds were still in the sky, and she was laying on a cloud. Then I wanted her to prove that she could clear the sky in 10 seconds flat. She went to the job and cleared it in 10 seconds. And when she went to go fix the bridge, she had stopped for a second. But she had to choose the Shadow Bolts or us. She chose us because she'd never leave her friends hanging. That's what she said. I guess that's what made her so loyal. I remember the day when she first got Tank, her pet turtle. She wanted a pet that was awesome and cool, but she couldn't see that in Tank. He wasn't what she wanted, but they were destined for one another. And when she had her wing caught under a rock, Tank came over and loosened her wing, and carried her all the way to the finish. She finally saw that he was the pet she needed. That's what a pet should do, be there for their owners, and be the friend at their home. I also remember the day she got accepted into the Wonderbolt Academy. It was so excited. Pinkie wanted her to send a letter when she got the chance, and on the first day she kept looking in her mailbox. Nothing. Then one of the ponies put us in danger. Rainbow wanted to quit because of the recklessness was what was awarded. She didn't want to be part of it, but then she got to stay because Spitfire saw what Rainbow meant. I also remember the time when she performed her first Sonic Boom and helped us all earn our cutie marks. We all didn't know it. All that time we owed something because of the things she gave us all. She was the most loyal pony I've ever known, all because of her heart. She had a heart of solid platinum. Fluttershy, element of kindness. She really is the kindest, quiet, and lovable pony I've ever met. When we met was probably the weirdest moment of my life. She softly told me her name, then hid behind her mane, backing away like I was going to hurt her. But then we went together on the journey. She saved us from the manticore by showing him a little kindness, caring for his paw that somehow had a thorn in it. He acted like a little kitten as we passed by. Her mane was all messed up, but she taught me about kindness that day. I remember the time when Iron Will came to Ponyville. Earlier on, Rarity and Pinkie Pie wanted her to be assertive, but when she took Iron Will's advice, she became the meanest pony in Ponyville. Every pony was afraid of her, hurting them. But when she made her best friends cry, she finally realized that she went way too far. She was assertive in a nice Fluttershy way we knew and loved. And the time when she came over her fear of flying when many ponies were watching, and her fear of dragons when we were in danger. She really is the element of kindness, the best at it. I remember the Cutie Mark Crusaders, Apple Bloom, Scootaloo, and Sweetie Belle. They are the cutest ponies. Even now with their cutie marks, they are still friends. And the CMCs. Scootaloo, Rainbow Dash's #1 fan. She is a Pegasus pony that couldn't fly, but she did not let that stop her. She used her wings for her scooter and went so fast on that scooter, you could feel a breeze as she passed. I remember when she went on a trip with Applejack, Apple Bloom, Rarity, Sweetie Belle, and Rainbow Dash camping, and she wanted Rainbow Dash to become her big sister and teach her everything she knew. But when Rainbow started telling these stories about the headless horse, when Scootaloo was scared enough, she went outside by herself. Rainbow Dash told her something that she still won't say to any pony. but then they did become sisters at heart. And Rainbow Dash gave Scoot her wish to be taught everything she knew. Sweetabelle, sister of Rarity. She is as beautiful as Rarity is. I remember the time when they all went to Diamond Tiara's Cutie Mark party and she stood up for Apple Bloom when they found out that she had lied about getting her Cutie Mark. Sweetabelle and Scootaloo stood up for her, even that they didn't have their Cutie Marks either. They became the best of friends that day. Apple Bloom, sister of Applejack. She has a good spirit and is a good little sister. Apple Bloom is the cutest, even the day I first met her in the family, using those pig puppy dog eyes, wanting me to stay. I remember the day when we all met Sakura for the first time. Apple Bloom trusted her that when we jumped to conclusions that she was making Apple Bloom soup. She didn't. And she helped our jokes that this plant made, and she fixed them. It was so weird. Pinky's tongue was cursed, Rarity's fur, Applejack shrunk, Rainbow's wings flipped, Fluttershy's voice changed, and my horn flopped. And when she got her cutie box and practically lost her mind, I still remember the day each of them earned their cutie marks. Scootaloo was on her scooter and sped so fast. She created her own sonic rainbow. She saved her friends from certain death. She earned her cutie mark. She was the first of the three to get their cutie marks. Sweetabelle sang a song from the Heart Carol so beautifully. Angels couldn't do any better. She earned her cutie mark at that moment. Apple Bloom was the last of them to get her cutie mark. She raised an apple tree by herself and grew the plant from a seed to tree. And when some of the blooms on her tree came out so beautifully, they had to come with 2 apples connected to each other on accident. She made it into the most beautiful apple cell on Sweet Apple Acres. And she got her cutie mark. I hope that Spike will let me go. He has been the kindest, sweetest, most generous dragon I've ever known. From the time I hatched him with my magic till the time I let him go on his own. He's been the best. He always reminds me when I became homesick. He told me that my friends and family were thinking about me at that moment, but that he was always there for me, to be the friend by my side. And all this time, he's been there for me. I remember the day when Applejack had saved him from the Timberwolves, and he went a little too far with the Dragon Code. All 6 of us tried to get rid of it with a stage act, but then the real ones came, and Applejack got stuck in between 2 rocks. He saved her, and they both came to agreement. They both will follow Applejack's code. I hope this doesn't kill him. He will be alone. I hope he'll be able to move on. I'm getting tired, and all of a sudden, in the middle of the day, the machine that checks my heart is slowing down. I'll leave this with you all. You have been the bestest friends in the whole world. I will never forget you, from the time we met till today as I lay in this bed. You all have been there, teaching me friendship. I will never forget you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Your best friend, Twilight.